Choosing your target market. This is where the fun begins, guys. How do I know where to start? How do I know what market to choose? Do I do this virtually? Do I do this in my backyard? How do I know what criteria? That's what we're going to go over now. So let's get started. So we want to stay in markets where the average price home, a home for sale, is under $350,000. We are not playing in luxury markets. We don't want to be in LA. We don't want to be in Manhattan. We don't want to be in multi-million-dollar markets. Although you can still wholesale in those markets, you have a much better chance of succeeding if you stay in that affordable price point. The buyer pool is bigger. The amount of flippers and rehabbers that want to be in that price point is pretty much nationwide. Everybody wants to be in that price point. So that's what we want to stay. That's what we want to target. Under 350,000. Now, if it goes up to 4, I mean, that's not a big deal. If you can stay in that price range or under, that's where you want to be. All right. So yeah, you got to make a decision on if you want to do it in your backyard or if you want to do it virtually. If you live in one of those very, very expensive markets, you probably want to do it virtually. And please do not let that scare you. We're going to go over virtual wholesaling a little bit later in the course, but do not let that scare you. The only difference is you got to have boots on the ground. You got to have a person there in that market that's going to go on the appointments for you, meet the seller in person, go on all those appointments, send you photos. Again, we'll discuss that at a later point. But please do not let the option of virtual wholesaling scare you off, because it's, for a lot of people, it is a good option. All right, so we also want to stay away from very rural areas. You know, if there's no Facebook group, like a local real estate Facebook group, like for instance, I'm in Charlotte Real Estate Investors on Facebook, very large group. Right there, right then and there is where I can throw my deals on that group and get buyers and dispo my deals, right? But if there's no buyer action there, if there's no buyers in that market and there's not many people looking to buy, as far as like the actual retail people that want to buy their primary home, if nobody's moving there, basically, why would we want to be there? There's no action there. So we want to stay away from those rural markets. Most rural markets don't really have local Facebook groups. So that's why I put that up here. In the low cash transactions, I'm going to explain that at a later date. Cash transactions, the volume of that is determined by how many cash buyers are in that market. Buyers are flippers, are rehabbers. They buy cash. So if there's not that many cash transactions happening, it's not that much buyer activity. And we'll go over that later again. All right, this is very important. Very, very important. You have to take note of what's called a non-disclosure state, right? Non-disclosure states, they do not have to report what the sold comps for. We talked about that when we did the ARV for Houston, right? Houston, Texas. Texas is a non-disclosure state. So why you have to take that into account is because, again, you don't have the sold comps to go off of. You can still comp. We talked about it in that video using the active and the under contract, but you don't have hard sold comps. That should not deter you away from these states. You just need to take note that, you know, you're going to have to go that extra mile to comp, ARV, all that stuff, and price in these states. Again, not a big deal. A lot of people do really well in Texas. A lot of people do really well in some of these other states. But you just have to know that going in. And the last thing, and I say choose counties here. We use counties and cities kind of interchangeably. You really kind of focus on the county overall. Let's say once you get to Jacksonville, I believe Jacksonville is Duval County. You get to you know you want to start in Jacksonville. You just Google, okay, what county is Jacksonville in? And then you're going to, when you go and input your list, which we're going to talk about shortly, you're going to search by the county. So that's why I put county here. But you want to stay in counties or markets that have below 40 days on market. And that's in Redfin. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that next. So that means from the time that property is listed till the time it's off market or under contract is 40 days. That means things are moving fast. Inventory is moving fast, right? Another measurement of how healthy that market is. That's where we want to be. We don't want to be in markets very rural that have 150 days on market. That is not a good place to play, right? So that's literally the criteria right there as far as how we go about choosing the market. In the next chapter, I'm gonna give you some examples of that, and I'm gonna show you exactly on Redfin how we can go and get this actual data and see which market is the one we want to start in. I'll see you guys in the next chapter.